Is it still morning?
Barely.
Barely. Okay. Okay, good morning. Still. So, what I would like to talk about today is not pure renewable energies. It's a kind of mixture of renewable energies with fossil fuels. First of all, like Doctor said, this is a pretty long-term solution. I think the short-term solution, as we are working right now, as the reason I am here in the state of Texas, is the need for the power industry, because it's in a transition from building new power plants based on nuclear power. So the state of Texas and in the USA, there are many nuclear power plants coming in to the picture in the upcoming 20 years or so. So there is a lot of money, research effort put into this, and a lot of education going on, because it requires professionals and everybody from the industry, from the university, from everywhere, just to make it happen, because the people in the power industry, especially the professionals, are getting old, because the old technologies used to be used in the power industry, and now those people is about to retire. They are in their 60s, but unfortunately they cannot retire because of the economic situation right now. They are delaying their retirement. So, but I mean, the goal, there is going to be a need for the workforce for the power industry. That's why power industry plus nuclear power is the primary choice of today's world to supply the demand, upcoming demand and increasing demand on energy. Plus, some people claim that nuclear energy is another form of renewable energy. You can argue that. But I'm not going to talk about nuclear energy here. So, this is pretty much in the very beginning of proposal phase. It's unlike Dr. Yavuz's presentation. He's far along the way, published and did very good stuff. So this is in the very beginning. This is just a proposal, open to critiques, open to your comments and questions. And you just come up and say, this doesn't make sense. That's even fine. So I would like to have introductions, the goals, the significance, background, and my proposal, and some conclusions. So what I'm trying to propose, it's an offshore application. It's open water application. When it comes to renewable energy, it kind of implies and means land usage. So it's a challenge, even with any type of application. When you want to grow new biofuels, you need land. For wind farms, you need land. For solar panels, you need land. So land means pretty much everything. So this is an offshore application, but again, this is gonna take up some square footage. So first, I will talk about a wave energy conversion method to electricity. So that's the primary need. And this is going to be applicable to fixed offshore platforms and rigs, specifically oil rigs, and the coexistence and coordination of multiple renewable energies with clean energies. So the objectives, this was some initiative from Department of Interior that help contribute exploration and development of renewable energies. So make alternative use of existing oil and natural gas platforms and applicable to other offshore mediums like wind farms, kind of hybrid usage of wind farms and wave energies, ships, boats, and vessels. So expected significance, why we do this. So the Gulf of Mexico has over 4,000 oil rigs that are destined for decommissioning over the next century. This might happen even an earlier date with high fuel prices, and these oil rigs don't make a business case. So offshore environments provide steady, less turbulent, higher mean wind sources compared to inland, and offshore ocean waves generated by wind currents are proven to be more reliable wave energy sources than nearshore locations or applications. And one study shows us the total energy, wave energy off of US coastlines are almost 1/6 of US energy need. But of course, with the technologies we have today, we can only capture a fraction of it. So when we come to background and what people did in the past with the wave energy is classified. There are a lot of concepts, a lot of them, but can be grouped in 5 different waves. First one is oscillating wave column. This one takes advantage of waves coming up and down and kind of pressurizing, and air coming in and out of a turbine kind of runs the generator. So it's a structure that takes up a lot of space. Overtopping devices. This is a sort of a kind of pool that will take the wave and water inside and eventually let it go through the turbines, hydroturbines, and create electrical energy. And heaving devices, these are the devices which will take advantage of heave motion, meaning waves coming up and down will run some mechanical system. And one of the application, which is pretty commercial application, is called Power Buoy. This is a company and commercially available in US. So the other ones are pitching devices. As you can see in the picture, with the wave, these will move back and forth and pressurize the oil and create high pressure oil, and then run through hydraulic motors and drive electrical generators. So this is one of the application used in Portugal today. And another one is surging devices, which will take advantage of wave surge in the forward direction and run deflectors or turbines. So the proposed work that I have is similar principle, takes advantage of heaving motion and overtopping devices. So the idea here is vertical up and down movement caused by ocean waves are transferred to circular motion and runs the electrical generators. So the problem with renewable energies are they are intermittent. That means they are not available all the time. So you have to kind of come up with some sort of compromise. For example, hydroelectric is a sustainable energy, but you have to create a huge pools or huge dams just to collect that water so that you create some sort of sustainable energy. But people say those huge dams are killing the environment. That's why they don't think huge hydroelectric as a renewable energy, sustainable renewable energy, or clean energy per se. So if this intermittent nature of these waves create unreliable electrical energy, then the other idea is to use this as a pump and pump the seawater to an elevated reservoir and let it drain so that you run hydroturbines. Of course, the expectation here is not like huge plants. It's kind of smaller scale, a megawatt or maybe maximum 2. The largest deployment in the world right now for wind turbines, as an example, which is the most popular these days, are like 7 megawatt. Just take it as an example. So this is my proposed work. So the waves are going to kick the buoy up and down through the piston, and then eventually it'll run the flywheel and crankshaft and run the generator at the end. This is going to require a lot of simulations and a lot of studies before physically building this, because you have to come up with some sort of best energy transfer mechanism, rather than just blindly going and building this structure. It may not make sense at all. So I'm planning to do a lot of simulation and kind of study ahead of time. Or instead of running a generator, this can run like a water pump the water upstairs so that build a reservoir. So, and at the end, once this comes to be a reliable energy, renewable energy source, we will try to integrate with other renewable energy sources. For example, in an old rig or a platform, build this wind turbine plus the wave energy converter plus a natural gas turbines, which is some sort of best clean energy possible at the moment. And the mixture is going to provide a clean, sustainable energy. Because if you look at the statistics over the waves, especially in the Gulf of Mexico, the waves are much more steadier than wind. Wind goes up and down, changes very frequently, but waves, because of the heavy water usage, it's the huge storage in the water. It turns out to be much more reliable source of renewable energy. So that pretty much concludes my presentation. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much to Gulen Institute for having me here.
The panelists come back up again for questions. You can stay.
That's fine.
We have about 15 minutes remaining for questions and discussion. So we'll open the panel to discussions. If you have a question that's going to be directed at a particular member, please indicate, or else if it's directed to the panel in general, and then somebody will come forward to take it. Okay. Questions? Yes.
Where the United States stands in relationship to other countries. Where are we, progress-wise, compared to India and China and Japan and Europe?
Okay, the question for those who can't hear is, where does the United States stand on the question of renewable energy and in relation to other nations? Panel members?
Well, I can answer. I think Europe leads the way in terms of their technologies and everything. Japan takes the lead as well. Pretty much shares with Europe. And China, believe it or not, putting a lot of effort, and U.S. right now trying to catch with China. And what I've heard from the president and chairman of PG&E, which is the utility company of California, they say we are gonna in planning to go ahead of China. So China is ahead of U.S. at the moment in renewable energy. But of course, Europe and Japan is the first.
One thing I had to say that I left out: we need to think of conservation also as a renewable energy source. And if that's the criteria, Japan is